Okay, we are live. And see, we are on Reacher Episode 5, which is called Burial. And any kind of recap you guys want to give so far?
I guess, man, a lot is happening now at this point.
Yeah.
Guess now we're starting to get into the nitty gritty of the second half of the season. I guess now, and we're going towards. They're gonna make their final run at the defense contractor place. The assassin guy is ramping up his plans, and now we've got the team split up again, where we've got O'Donnell and Reacher. They're going to go to DC and see what they can get out of Homeland Security, and Neely and Dixon are going to track down the missiles. I think that
And
right.
even worse,
Mhm.
Reacher has not got no spare clothes. He's still in that same
Yeah.
those lovely clothes that are about to get all murky.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have a pretty good opening. It's just basically Reacher and I can't think of his name right now.
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell, yeah. He's hanging out with his wife and his two kids we've been hearing about on the phone, and just he's telling his wife that she needs to pack up and take the kids and just get out of here for a little while. And of course, she's just concerned. And the whole like, well, how bad is it? Like a scale of 1 to 10. He goes, well, even the kids maybe like a 4, but for us, we gotta be safe and stuff. Get you out of here. And like Luke was saying, just seeing Reacher trying to like fit into a chair right there and hold a bunny, like
Right.
god, goddamn giant man.
I do
So
like this. One, the wife is not super hot. Two, the kids aren't doing anything like that little kids wouldn't be doing. They're running around being kids, and it looks like a pretty domesticated place.
yeah.
Reacher's kind of taking it all in. He's sort of like a real fish out of water
Mm,
in this situation. He is giving O'Donnell a compliment on the fact that she's not becoming a hysterical woman. She's just basically like, okay, so what's the deal here? And I like the thought that they've got like in real life, you don't have a bunch of people like Reacher who have nothing to lose. That for fans of the books, you'll see what I did there. Nothing to lose. Haha. But
oh yeah.
the as far as like him having a wife and a life and kids and all this kind of stuff, you got to get him to safety. You got bad guys circling him. You don't want them to get kidnapped and have to be like rescue, or pawn items and all that kind of stuff. So he's getting them out of harm's way. That makes sense. It's a good
Yeah.
plot. I like
Yeah,
it.
and he seems to have prepped them as well. Like, all right, these are the procedures we need to take in case bad shit happens. Okay, and
Well,
he's
remember how
probably
he makes his yeah, remember how he makes his living? He makes his living
yeah,
basically blackmailing people. So he's
Yeah.
probably at least it's somewhat encountered
2 steps
blowback from
ahead.
certain. Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's because these are very smart people written by a very smart guy. Even though he's probably got his criticisms, but
Yeah.
God deny he knows how to write people that know what they're fucking doing, especially in a job so
yeah,
extreme like this.
Yeah,
yeah.
nice, as usual, nice little exchange between Reacher and O'Donnell. He's like, "What's up with the wife there? She doesn't panic." And yeah, she's a ER nurse and stuff. He's like, "Yeah, she loses a bet." He gives him the fucking finger.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
the re- the
people
Go
have a
ahead.
bit of fucking humour towards these situations, don't they? She probably has been a few situations not as bad as this, but and she's sort of learned to handle it or deal with
mm,
it.
and nice,
The Reacher O'Donnell comedy show is definitely going to be something that we're going to be seeing TikTok and YouTube reel clips and
yeah,
stuff like that about over the next year. You know what I mean?
yep,
Like they're gonna be. I guarantee you, within a few months, there'll be TikToks and YouTube reels.
Saying how
Titled
adorable they are, shit
yeah,
like that.
being like
yeah,
O'Donnell and Reacher being a comedic duo
mm.
for 12 minutes and just have like a highlight reel of the best of their back and forth banter.
I do like
Yeah.
this line right here with, Reacher telling O'Donnell. He's like, "Yeah, if someone asked me back in the day where I thought you'd wind up, I
On you.
predicted slow death from gonorrhea and half a dozen girlfriends fighting over an '04 Milata." Yeah,
Miata, yeah.
Miata, sorry, it's a Milata. But
It kind of
yeah,
shows that O'Donnell's kind of moved on a little bit of his life, but Reacher, he's still kind of stuck in that same place a little bit, even though he's not in charge of not being in charge of a squad for a long time.
Yeah. Well, there's reasons for that. We'll get in if this show
Yeah,
stays as popular as it is, they'll do a
mhm,
flashback book or season
Yeah.
based on one of the flashback books, I imagine.
So we fast forward to Denver, Colorado. We have Neely and Dixon, and they're looking into this whole missile situation where these missiles, this factory where they should be.
Mm.
And boy, this isn't too good. So it's one thing hearing about them, but at one point that just we hear the number 650, like
Yes, yes,
650 missiles, like that's a lot of fucking missiles.
yeah.
Jesus, guys.
I like
Yeah.
Neely just
Yeah.
gets the gets the secretary out of the room and just starts like looking through her shit. I like
Yeah.
I like that
Just
she just like
bullshits away, bro. She just bullshits away, bro. I
yeah
love it. Like, just that's like you know what you're fucking doing. Everyone will believe your bullshit. I love
yeah.
that.
A little bit of backstory on Neely that everybody's been wanting to know, like how did obviously her father died when she was very young and she went into state care. She grew up very, very poor. She
Yeah.
probably joined the army because there wasn't a lot else options for her. She's made a good life for herself.
Yeah,
So
seems to be the case. That seems to be like it's going to be the case even in real life here.
What's funny
yeah,
too with Dixon's asking her like, "How you feeling?" "I'm pretty sore." She goes, "Yeah, never wore heels." "No, never wore heels in my life. Never, not to a school dance." "No, never went to a school dance." Like,
yeah,
damn, she's not girly by any
no,
means. So more to Neely.
Well, we're living in a society where everyone wears trainers every day now. As soon as they put on a pair of like actual handmade
Mm,
shoes and they start fucking digging into the skin, that's
yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
no,
For our American audience, the Brits like to say trainers. That means sneakers. Just
yeah.
so you know.
yeah. So now they're talking to the foreman and they're trying to investigate these missiles. But hey,
This is a great scene coming up, man. I love this scene.
yeah,
Did this rock you guys or was it just me?
no, it's I didn't see it coming. Pretty good. We have this
Also, again, not in the book. Not in the book. Do you want me to stop
really.
saying that, or
No, I
like,
don't mind.
do you want to know what's in the book and what's
No, so
not?
I listen to other
Turn
Okay.
people.
it into a drinking game. Yeah, every
Yeah.
time he said, "No, no, book, just drink," everyone
Yeah,
will be
This
fucking dead.
poor, this poor driver. It's just like when we were doing Die Hard the other night. This poor driver, man. You could have just tied this guy up. You didn't need to. You didn't need to fucking wet this guy up, man. That's crazy. Like all he was doing was trying to help you. You
yeah,
didn't need
And
to
again, you
do
got
that.
witnesses.
yeah.
Witnesses.
Mm,
I don't know. But then
I
again, you
don't
got to
know.
get rid of the body as well, which might cause some other problems. And
I mean,
uh,
it's just not necessary. It's just really unnecessary.
This is why so many people get jaded for in real life and shit. They sit there and like, why don't we help out strangers for? Because they watch shows like this. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, killed
Or
my
stuff
faith
like
in
this.
humanity.
Stuff like this happens in real life. But
yeah,
again, I
really,
I keep coming back to the fact that this is like this huge multi-million dollar thing, and the only really good operative, I mean, I don't want to give it away right before it happens, but the only really good operative they have is the Ahmad Mahmoud guy here. He's the only one that's like really switched on. Everybody else seems to be like bush league or goons, or is it just me? Does he seem like the only one that's like a
I think are
very
these the two same guys that are on later on during the funeral scene?
no, none of these guys. I don't think any of these
Oh
guys make it
no,
out of the scene. None of these
no.
guys make it out of the scene.
Like I said, it's still my first time watching the
yeah,
episode,
It's
so I
all
didn't know if
right.
it was
It's
someone
okay.
else.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But it's to me. It's like the bad guys blew their wad on goon money with
yeah,
the one main guy, and everybody else they got from like bargain henchmen's are us. So I mean, I don't know. Well, we're gonna see in a minute, but I
yeah.
guess we're in the
Now
Homeland
it could be
Security thing.
too watching too many action films from the 80s and 90s, but you think missiles. When I think 600 missiles, I think big, like missiles the size of me, and look how small these things are.
Yeah,
Which
but the
you know,
missiles are that's what the missile is. That's where the microchips and
yeah,
the explosives and all the stuff is. Everything else is just a casing. Just like a bullet. Think of a bullet. Like the tip of the bullet, whether it be a hollow point or an incendiary bullet or whatever, everything else, the stuff that gets ejected from the weapon when you fire it, that's just the casing that holds it. Then it propels the explosive forward. So think of it like that. You're thinking of
yeah.
like big missile thing, but all that thing with the big missile thing, the rest of that is just the casing for it. That right there is the actual dangerous stuff that you're looking at in the box. I hope that helps.
It does. And see, so now we are Reacher and let's see. Donald here talking to his brother's former FBI people, and so
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security. Yeah, he's talking about
Yeah.
AM. Guy's smart, never been caught, and he's supposed to be Central American, Italian, Greek, Middle Eastern. He's a ghost.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
That the guy could basically be almost any denomination.
yeah, and he works for the highest bidder. So, okay, he's just his only god is money. He works for the highest bidder.
Yeah. Always makes these guys more sinister, doesn't it? The fact that they could just disappear into a crowd, even though in plain sight as well, and especially on the database as well. Like they could be somehow corrupted to the point where it's harder to track them,
Yeah.
even in this digital age.
So they talk about right here. This supposed to happen. Reacher says this with bearer bonds. Now, Wes, I'm not sure if you know this stuff, but Reacher's saying that they stopped making bearer bonds back in the '80s.
Yep.
So now the thing is, that I'm not sure much about bearer bonds. If they stopped making them, then where would you? And the one Homeland guy says some countries will still use them. Those were from Luxembourg, but like, where do you cash those in at then?
I don't know. I
I
don't know
know
where
that
you
sounds like very complex stuff, doesn't it? Like we have to really
I
watch
don't
some fucking videos and money.
I don't think you cash them per se. I think you have them and you put them into some kind of an account where they accrue interest because they're so valuable. They're almost like, I guess the closest thing that I could understand is that they're like really expensive stamps.
Okay.
And then like you're just like living off the interest of having them in a bank.
Hmm.
I really
Yeah.
like the fact that they completely bullshitted these two guys that,
Hmm.
hey, we're going to give you some info. You give us some info. The Homeland Security guys give them info. And they're like, yeah, O'Donnell's like, yeah, we don't really have anything. We're kind of still working on it right now.
Yeah.
Great.
Watch Reacher says it's scary because he goes, you can carry an untraceable fortune briefcase. He's like having one. It's like having $1 million bill on you.
Right.
And yeah, so
Well, like just a real quick, my very limited amount of knowledge on okay, Reacher. Oh, wow, that's the opening cold call. Wow, that's interesting.
Well, is it kind of like possessing gold and putting it into a vault, something like
Right.
that?
Right. Like, so if you had $1 million, right, and you just put $1 million into the bank, you could live off of the interest on it and live better than you're probably living right now. No offense. So like you'd have like
Oh no,
you'd have like several grand a month that is the interest payment from just having that in there. So it would be
listen, viewers.
it would be my understanding of that is how that works. Sort of similar to the throwaway line in the original Die Hard, where Hans says, "By the time they figure out that we all escaped and they clean through the rubble, we'll be on an island living off 20%." So, like, I guess they're saying that like they could just have those bearer bonds they were going to steal and put them somewhere and just keep them.
yeah.
I think that's how that works, but I don't want to lie to you guys because I don't actually know. So I'm sort of kind of reaching, as it were, right now with my
I'm
logic.
guessing Cayman Islands. I'm guessing Cayman Islands, to be honest. But
Yeah.
we'll move on from this because I
Yeah.
think we might be going on a bit of a tangent here.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
pretty scary right there. They said, "Hey, don't worry, guys. When we catch this AM guy, we won't let them slip through our fingers. And what are we gonna do?" It's like, okay, we're all gonna arrest them. But look at Reacher. He's like, "Yeah, nah, unless we kill them all first."
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think Homeland Security is going to do a good job anyway if they do.
Yep. So now we have these guys. They are out there, the bad guys, and they're changing up the plates for the tractor trailers because they're escorting the missiles. And we have friggin' Neely and Dixon. They're rolling up on them, and off the bat, something's wrong.
Yeah. This is a good action scene. This is really good.
Yep. So Neely's like, third guy's gonna tell us the truck broke down. Another one to come pick up the trailer. But no way, second truck got here before us. Yep. But we get to pretty good action scene.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. I like the last guy that just fucking decides to leg it. It's like, fucking run away, but gets gunned down anyway.
Yeah.
This show is fucking funny. It is. There's a good, there's a dark sense of humour to it that I love.
Yeah.
It's like these guys start off. Are you guys in the gunfight proper now? Are you in
Yes,
the gunfight? Okay.
I showed the 3 guys
Um,
gunning them down.
so yeah, it's like these guys start off good as far as how they're doing it. That's a good, attack, but then they stand there in front of the target when they should have flanked them right off
Yeah,
the rip. And it's just like you're hope you can't see what's happening in the car, so you're already at a disadvantage.
yeah,
Now
Yeah,
if they were regular people, this would be fine, but they had to know that they were at least dealing with somebody that was law enforcement type. So these guys and they're getting way too close to the car. Like that's
mm,
crazy the way they did this. They just basically walked into Neely and Dixon's trap
yeah,
here.
because obviously these 2 didn't jump out of the car, they didn't see him. What happens, freaking Neely, they were hiding in the trunk, and she pops out the back seat and friggin' puts one right in his head. Yeah, so it was in Dixon too. They shoot the other guy, and bam, got him. Dixon got him too. I mean, hey, they're
Damn, they
both good
they lit
headshots.
that they lit that dude up.
Yeah, the
Good
other guy
job,
just
ladies. Good job. I like it. I'm here for it all day.
yep. Yeah, idiot shouldn't have,
You got to just also admire Dixon, right? Because like like one, she was more of a finance and counterfeit type, operative and stuff like that within the MPs, and also the fact that chronologically from this, like these all these scenes like we're watching, it's only been a couple days since Reacher destroyed her in the bedroom, and she's able to like move around and fight and do all this kind of stuff, and really she should be like in a wheelchair at this point. So
yeah, but yeah, fucking how small is she compared to him? So yeah,
I know. Oh boy. Good for you. Good for you, Carla. Good for you.
yeah,
she's got a fanny of fucking steel.
yeah. So there was
Fanny.
yeah. So going a little bit forward and stuff after they friggin' shoot this guy and stuff. They're talking to Reacher and O'Donnell on the phone, and just they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But
I
yeah,
also like this, like so many shows, if the good guys lost their car or whatever or something like that, then the next thing you know, they like see them at like the next scene. Like, how did
yeah,
they get there? Like, but now with this, they're showing them like, all right, well, we're screwed. So I guess we're hiking through the snow for a little bit till we can figure something out. Like, I like that. It makes it more realistic.
yep.
So, um, whoever this guy that is adapting the book for the screenplay, I didn't catch his name. It was in the credits. He's really good.
Mm.
He's obviously working very closely with Lee Child, and I'm digging it. And again, we get more great acting from Alan Richardson with his face as the realizations start to dawn on him. And like no one's giving him the "I told you so" because obviously they don't want to get their heads crushed. But like, Reacher's face is just like, he's like, man, this how could I have been so wrong about this guy? And now we're at a flashback scene of an earlier mission that the 110th went on, where apparently Reacher and Swan went undercover to try to sell the heroin to some buyers. And
Well, thing
Yeah,
that Neely saying to Reacher, which he doesn't want to hear, is that well, it looks like Swan. He's still alive,
yeah,
working with New Age. So, but of course
and the
they
and
talk
the
about
flashback, and then sorry, and sorry, you were saying something, yeah.
no, they just talk about like a digital thumbprint. Of course, she's like well, Reacher's like yeah, they forced him to use it. She's like well, they used biometrics and Reacher. No matter what Neely says, proving that Swan's working with them. He's like no, he doesn't believe it. He doesn't want to hear it.
yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
but
there is a way around biometric scanning.
yeah,
You ever seen Demolition Man?
oh yeah.
Yeah,
So of course, and again, with Alan, look at just the look in his face. He's pissed off. Like, yeah, I'm going for a walk. He's not in a good mood because he's want to hear that Swan's dirty.
What do you think
so this,
bothers him more, the fact that he may have been wrong about his friend and teammate, or the fact that he's just wrong in general?
I'm guessing
Oh
his teammate. It's
yeah,
because
we're gonna.
yeah, I don't think he's that petty to think oh, I don't like being wrong. Fuck everyone else who thinks I am.
Yeah, going to like you're saying, they're doing a flashback and 110. One point, the big guy calls him friggin' Muddy Joe Young, and they're trying to do this His
Yeah,
hair
it
went.
wasn't Mighty Joe Young. Like, wasn't that like a King Kong movie or something?
It was like a Disney version of
Kind
King
of,
Kong.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a big monkey that goes goes on the rampage a little bit at the end.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Bill Paxton's in it. That's a plus.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, isn't it?
Mm.
Never seen it.
So right there we
But
have
you
this.
do you do
Sorry.
get some good reasons in the flashback, which makes you think, yeah, I can sort of see why Reacher still wants to believe that it's not that he isn't dirty because
Yeah.
he does something really fucking cool and courageous. He risks his life to save him, so you can sort of see why he's conflicted here.
I like
Yeah.
the back and forth with the MP sitting in the van as
Mm.
backup, and he's like, "They're going to add dollar signs to our paycheck." He goes, "Why would they add dollar signs? You only need the $1 sign."
Yeah. That was it was good. Well, also, right here, friggin' Swan gets his cover blown by, of all things, the friggin' guy bringing food, and he talks about, what was it? He was on Craigslist, and he was like, "Yeah, this guy, recognized you." "Nah, somebody else." "Nah, I recognize you. You bought a guitar, and you were wearing an army cop uniform." And I'm like,
Whoops.
Yeah,
"Oh shit."
For
Up
anyone
and
who has a hard time believing that, let me tell you that army towns, if they're doing this in the army town, and I have no reason to think that they're not, um, army towns are not big towns. They're like really small. You could literally run into, you know, people that you've met 1,000 times. You know, the guy that delivers pizza, you might know him.
yeah, and of course, whatever this, but man, just seeing Reach do this stuff, I know it's exaggeration for action, but look, this guy's holding a plastic spork from a Chinese takeout. Reacher just uppercuts the guy with a fucking plastic spork. It's like, holy shit, dude. Damn. Yeah, drops that guy, guy's done. And yep, freaking pulls out a gun, shoots him, have a nice little quick action scene. Reacher damn shoots the other guy in the head. Like, oh shit. There we go. Yep, and cover's been blown, so but what happens is friggin' Swan's about to shoot Reacher. Swan jumps out, takes a bullet for him. And of course, they make a joke about damn his collarbone being broken, and I guess that guitar I bought, I'm not going to be playing that anymore. He's like, the bullet missed your heart. Shattered my collarbone.
yeah. And it's like,
Right,
yeah,
so,
this guy can't be dirty. Come on, he fucking tried to save his friend's life. He can't be.
yeah, yeah, pretty good scene. Move forward. Now we're back in. Oh boy, a Reacher. He's getting surrounded by some guys in black suits and everything, and some. He's like, yeah, government plates. So I guess the senator in the previous episode we were scamming with the coke and stuff. He found out about Reacher who he is.
You guys
Oh,
recognize the female agent?
Let me see.
no, so look.
No, I'm not recognizing her. Let me see.
She's not a big actress or anything. She played Opie's wife on Sons of Anarchy.
Oh shit. Wow. Okay. Yeah, but
I'm
they
a bit
ask.
familiar. Was she
So of course.
blonde?
No, she's always sort of looked like that. She had longer hair. She was in it. I always recognize her because she plays this one guy, this one soldier's wife. They had a Iraq TV
Oh,
show on
his wife.
FX.
Yes, yes, I remember her now. Yeah, she gets killed in like the first episode, doesn't she? By
No,
that
no,
crook,
no,
didn't she?
no, no,
Oh,
no.
I
You're
thought it was the wife of the one that got killed by the crooked copper.
no, no, no.
Ah, damn. That's my bad. I remember it wrong. But yeah, we'll carry
Yeah.
on. Carry on.
So of course, yeah, she calls him Mr. Reacher, and he goes, "Just Reacher." Will you get into the car? He says, "No," but fine, Reacher. Why won't you get into the car? He's like,
You didn't ask
because he didn't
nicely.
because he didn't ask nicely. It's like
It's fucking
with
deliberate.
Alan, just like it's so like it's just weird his delivery. It's so
His delivery and timing are so good. They've really, you know how sometimes we talk about it's a funny line. You know how sometimes we talk about like people who were made for certain characters?
mm,
He's gonna go down in history as like he was made for this character or made for this role. I think,
yeah,
maybe not. I don't know what you guys think.
Well, he's
no,
been in a lot of comedies, so it's not surprising he has some good comic timing and delivery. I mean, he had a
Yeah.
small part in New Girl. He was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine as I think the young version of Scully. Is the dude can do comedy. He's got a good. He knows he's been in a lot, so he knows what he's doing.
yeah.
Mm.
So back to
Such
our
a
buddy. What's it? That's our buddy AM. AM's talking to
Yeah.
Langston. Langston's still not happy about the whole situation. So
Yeah, I'd really like to see the T-1000 do more than just talk on the phone and walk. I mean, we've only had like him do like one thing where he tortures Franz. He's basically, we're in episode 5 already, only 3 episodes left to go, and all the T-1000 has done is just walk around and yell at people on the phone.
mm, nice little line here with the one agent. So they take Reacher to bring him to a zoo. He goes, backstage exhibit. He's like, yeah, but you might feel comfortable among the gorillas.
Yeah. If I saw a big gorilla in Reacher, I'd put my money on Reacher.
They got me in that fucking zoo and smells of monkey shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I like that he's like Reacher's not perturbed at all with these guys walking in. Because I mean he basically committed like several federal crimes by impersonating a federal officer and all this other shit. Reacher's just like, "Hey, what's up? You're the one that likes to do cocaine. What's going on?"
That's what he says. He's like, no, he's like, he has to call me Mr. Reacher though. Being
Yeah.
a jackass.
He likes to be petty sometimes, doesn't he? This is very interesting. This guy is sort of a villain and sort of not, this senator. Um it's kind of like when they're like rattling off Reacher's accolades in the military, and he's like, "Hey, show some respect," you know, and he's like, "Hey, I am what I am, so are you. We have aligning interests. Let's kind of." I recently did a class on writing, and they talked about what a cotagonist is, not an antagonist or a protagonist, but a cotagonist. That's where you have a seemingly evil type character, but their immediate interests align with the hero.
Yeah, like
So
the lesser of the warring evils in a way.
right. So like, like Hannibal Lecter helping out Clary Starling in order to catch Buffalo Bill, like that. You know what I mean? I like that. I think it's a
Yeah,
interesting. I'd never heard that phrase before, cotagonist, but I dig it.
yeah. I think Nick Fury kind of came across that right at the start of Winter Soldier in a way. Um, but I think I know what you mean because he seems like a guy who's like, I'm the type of guy that has accepted the world the way it is, not the way I want it to be. Sometimes you have to
Right.
get a little dirty to get things done, and you may not want to look yourself in the mirror every time you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good scene. The short version is like I like this senator here. He's talking to Reacher about how things get done. Why he's in being senator for it, and he just tells him that man he tracked him down through his facial recognition to military ID, and the one guy with the coke there, the other senator, he's talking about Reacher's history that he had a Bronze Star, Purple Heart, and so on. And of course, the other guy puts him in check, like, "Hey, man, show some respect for what Reacher's done," which I do
Yeah.
like that.
Um, this is definitely one of those things that the co-writer, because again, go ahead and drink. This is not in the book.
Yeah,
But the co-writer who's adapted this has really sat and thought about, um, can action shows and action movies take place in modern day and be any kind of realistic? And
yeah,
because look at all the crimes they have committed just in the span of this like several days that they've been on this case. So
mm,
the suspension of disbelief would be like these people would be in jail. But now you have this United States senator basically saying, "Hey, you get this done any way you see fit, and I'll cover your ass." That's good writing, man. That's giving that, and it's not even taking up a lot of time. It's a little bit of exposition heavy. They could have shortened it a little bit, but for the most part, it's basically saying, "Hey, you go do what you got to do, and we'll make sure that you and your friends don't wind up in federal prison for this."
mm,
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's realistically what would happen. You couldn't have these basically vigilantes because they're not MPs anymore. They don't have any kind of federal power. They can't
yep,
run around and do this kind of shit. But and they have like one sympathetic cop that's also kind of bending the rules for them. So you have this guy come in and just basically say, "Hey, I'm your get out of jail free card."
because
yeah,
he knows he
definitely,
can't just be a clean cut cop and expect to win. He knows he's to him, Reacher is the necessary evil.
yeah. Because he's a senator, he has access to information. He basically breaks down season one and says, he knows that Reacher was there in Margrave. He took care of Joe's investigation, and like Wes said, basically, he's like, "Hey, I want you to, do my dirty work and stuff." And just he's like, "I'm going to back you up, give you impunity, and once this whole situation's done, just you and your team can just go on your way, and that's it." So,
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's I like this freaking line right here too. He's like, "Yeah, do me a favor. It smells like monkey shit in here." But he's like, "Yeah, I'm a U.S. congressman. I get things done." Reacher's like, "I'm shocked because a U.S. congressman got anything done." Dude, his goddamn deadpan is comedy, man.
Going back to the the fact that they should be arrested by now. Right, I've just looked in the headlines as well. There's a load of crimes that have gone unsolved because coppers couldn't be asked to fucking investigate them. So yeah, maybe this show is a lot more realistic than we giving it credit for.
So, and like he's saying, like he wants Reacher to, do things because usually what he wants Reacher to do, there's too much political red tape. So, you know what? Then he's Reacher. I'm not asking for your help. I'm offering you mine. Like that's a good scene.
I
So,
liked it. I'm here for it all day. I really liked it.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
I hope it doesn't turn out to be a full-fledged villain.
I
Maybe he
don't
will.
think so. I don't think so. I think that was I think the guys in the writer room sat with Lee Child and were like, "Listen, this is 2023. There's no way these guys would be able to run around doing all this cowboy shit and not
yep,
wind up in federal prison." They're like, "All right, well, what if we write a scene where like the senator is gonna like be his like umbrella and get out of jail free card, and we have
yep,
like a little meeting. What if we did that?" And then that's how I would have wrote it.
yeah. He says right there, it's like, I'm a political animal. I'm not a monster, Mr. Reacher. And all right, so Reacher's got some time to think about what's going on. And he gets a phone call from O'Donnell. And he says the first thing he says to him is that, "Hope you kept that suit. Why?" "Well, Franz, his funeral's tomorrow."
Of course, Reacher kept the suit. Otherwise, he'd be naked because he didn't have any other clothes.
See, fast forward here. Now we have an upcoming scene with Franz and his funeral, and very interesting scene, definitely. So
Yeah,
because
Yeah,
they're really ramping up the action in the latter half of the show, aren't they?
yeah,
Not
well,
that they were super tame on it before, but I
yeah,
mean,
I thought it was pretty good because we get some more airtime with our good old buddy here, our Brooklyn buddy.
yeah. And what's he doing at the funeral? And why is he giving those toys to the child of their friend who died?
Lots of Reacher's pissed off because Reacher and the team are talking about the missiles. They're talking about everything going on with, possibly Swan being alive. And yeah, so like you said, Luke, we have Russo here. He has toys and he's talking to Franz's kid. And he's giving his kid a toy. And that right there, boy, Reacher is not really happy about that. But he's like, yeah,
yeah,
it's funny he mentions Aquaman. I thought it was so cool he could talk to fish because I wanted to talk to my dog.
Funny, but it's kind of sweet as well. I love it.
Yeah.
doesn't this guy? Hey, Luke, doesn't this guy kind of like remind you if Chris was a cop? This is kind of how he would be.
He's like,
Yeah, you would be, mate. Yeah,
Maybe,
maybe a bit nicer as well. I think you'd be nicer than him because he's a bit
maybe,
of a miserable bastard, isn't he? In a way.
yeah,
maybe if like Chris and Russell like fucked and had a kid, and he grew up to be a cop, it would be this guy.
mom and dad's go to heaven.
Oh man,
I want you to say the prayer every night for you go to bed. Good line.
I like this character. I don't. I know he's a bit of a miserable bastard, but his heart's in the right place, and he can see he wants to
That
do good.
close. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so Reacher's
Yeah.
definitely Reacher's right
Well,
here. He's pressing him.
I don't think he's gonna live through the series.
Damn.
Oh, I don't, I don't want
I
to see
think
him die. I don't.
I think that's why if I was writing it, and don't come for me in the comments because he's not in the fucking book, so I have no idea. But if I was writing it, I would make you like this guy so much, and then I'd have him like sacrifice himself before the end of the series so that he would get. But
Yeah.
I also thought they were going to do that with Finley in season one, and they didn't. So I was
Mm,
wrong about that. So I could be wrong about this, but if I was writing it, I'd have him get killed off like the second to last episode, and then have them get really fucking pissed off
yeah.
and go after the bad guys. That's what I would do. But
He's like, yeah, why you give him toys to my dead son's friend? He's like, what, you see a grieving widow and you think easy target? And so Reacher's, get up in Russo's face about that. He's like, "Are you kidding me right now? You got some kind of death wish?" Reacher's like, "Some people think so. I'm here to pay my respects." He's like,
Yeah, he
"Yeah,
seems to jump to the bad conclusions a bit too quickly, doesn't he? Which says a lot about Reacher himself in a way.
yeah.
Interesting how he
Understandably.
goes so far over, bend over backwards to defend Swan when the evidence is all against him, and there's no real evidence against Russo, but yet Russo he automatically assumes the worst.
Why did a biker gang take a run at me in Boston last night? Because you're an asshole."
Yeah, I like it when two guys that kind of hate each other a little bit find some common ground because there's bigger things ahead, bigger things that they're getting involved in.
Yeah. Or maybe it's because you're the only person I told we were going last night. He's like, "Whoa, whoa, wait, 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 wait. You trying to say I'm bent?" The way he says it bent, man, like, again, Russo gets pissed off. He's like, "I'm not trying to say anything." He just looks
You
at him
know,
like,
blue collar gets like a New York chubby every time this guy like delves into like he's like, yeah, over. You know, he does that thing like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's like, oh, and he points at the screen. He's like, oh,
yeah.
look at that.
I'd be the same if someone from fucking Hull was on there. I would.
Mm,
From where?
Hull, that's my hometown.
What's it called?
Hull, Hull, Hull.
Hull, okay.
Hull. Oh, Hull. Okay.
Hull.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or Hull as we pronounce it in our thickest Yorkshire accent.
Mm.
Hull.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he tells
Jesus.
Reacher, he goes to this whole thing where he's like, "Yeah, I know what it's like to lose family." He's like, do you know what it's like?" He goes, "Yeah, they're all dead, every one of them." But he's like, telling that
Yeah, they are.
he's like, "I was talking about you, not your father." "I'm talking about him. My father was a cop, a good one." But he goes, "He refused to be on the take, and they killed him for it."
I will tell you that doing military funerals was one of the hardest things I ever did. I did it for 6 months, and man, that shit was difficult. You would do
Uh,
three a day. We did three a day, 5 days a week for 6 months, and that shit was rough.
yeah, that's a good line right there. He's like, "I get it. It's your friend's son, but you call me dirty one more time, I don't care if we're standing in front of the statue of the Holy Mother. I will give you that beating that I owe you right there."
I like
Jesus.
this fucking actor. I do. I really like this actor. I know I've only seen him in Tulsa King, but has he been in anything else as well? That's really
Yeah,
good.
he was with the chick that plays Carla Dixon. They were a show called Breakout Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you mentioned that. I'm gonna have to give that a try as well.
It's really good. I
Well,
think it's on Amazon.
I like Reach right there. He's like, "You know what? I'll take you up on that fight." He's 2 things. And number 2, and again, just the look on Alan's face for like, I know about your father." He got that look in his face like, "Oh shit." Like I kinda Reacher right there knows, you're wrong, dude. Right now, friggin', you know, to Russo's credit, you have to defend Russo because he's proven everything he can that he's not on the take, he's not corrupt, and Reacher just doesn't want to hear it. Like Westwood said, because Reacher's so hell bent on thinking that everyone in his team, Swan, Franz, they're all good guys, and maybe they're not.
Yeah.
And again, they've had years of like loyalty built up between them. Of course, it's going to be in a bit denial a bit.
Yeah,
Like finding out a family relative who you've trusted for such a long time has been stealing from you or
yeah.
whatever.
But he says that, so these people in New Age, everybody, they took early retirement and the charges went away. He says right there. Then they all got cushy jobs at New Age and they hired all their pals along, whole
The
team
thing
of
that
bad
doesn't
cops.
make a lot of sense is like a few years prior, he worked with Finley. Now they were a little adversarial, but he found Finley to be honorable and a good guy and really helped him out. And they're still
Yeah,
friends to this day. So why is he just automatically assuming the worst? Now I guess you could headcanon the fact that it's been 3 years since that happened, and there's been lots of Jack Reacher adventures. So maybe he's become a little bit more cynical, and that's certainly possible. But he just seems to really be I mean, and again, if I'm right, and I'm very seldom wrong because I'm extremely intelligent. If I'm right, I think the adversarial thing is going to be like he's going to wind up. Uh, Russo's going to wind up getting killed
mm,
because he's going to be saving Reacher or the team in some kind of huge sacrifice, and Reacher's going to realize he'd been giving him the business all this time for no reason, and it was wrong to do so. That's what I think. That's how I would write it.
yeah. So basically Russo was telling Reacher that, someone like Swan, he would know what kind of weapons that terrorists want. And of course, Reacher's like, hey, now you're starting to imply something that's kind of pissing me off. But you have to give Russo credit for being a good cop.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Wes has been here. Here we go with the whole military funeral. I've been to a couple myself, and I'm very familiar with, as people have probably seen TV shows, movies, the whole 21 gun salute.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, and when this happens, I will share as much as I can because I did not see this coming. I mean, I feel like human beings, especially military, just rules in general, bad guys. There's certain taboos you don't fucking do, and like, man, you start a gunfight at a funeral and a military funeral, that's a whole new
Yeah.
level of like that would whoa. It's like
Yeah.
that's like there's I mean, almost like what was it? Remember Highlander? Like, remember the rule was
Yeah.
you couldn't friggin' fight on
Yeah.
churches and shit. But like
Yeah.
I can't tell you in my lifetime, dude, how many films that I've seen a fucking gunfight break out at a funeral, or
Yeah.
especially like at a cemetery. Like that's whoa, these guys they're desperate, and that's some like there's just certain shit you don't do.
Um,
Man,
if you're in civilian clothing, even if you're ex-military, you don't salute. You put your hand over your heart. So
really?
that's
Okay,
yeah. You
okay,
only salute if you're wearing a uniform of some kind.
all right, yeah, I know that.
I'll remember that. I will try to remember that if I ever do go to a military funeral.
Yeah, you put your
Yeah,
hand over your heart.
okay, yeah, so right there, so we have multiple assailants at these guys, and of course they're just they're like Neil is saying that we can't do much because we have handguns and shit, and these guys got fucking snipers. So
Yeah.
and
Yes.
of course, Reacher, he trusts Neely. He's like, "Hey, you're a very good shot and stuff. And I'm gonna go out there and like your big ass." Like my only problem is like you pick the biggest guy to draw their fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
I'd have been like, O'Donnell, you're kind of tiny. Come on, man. Zip, zip and move. Come on, buddy. This is your time to shine right here, pal.
Yeah, and
I like
definitely.
the fact
So
they start off just shooting, covering fire, then moving to the next cover forward.
yeah,
Yes, this
That's
is
it,
a
yeah.
very good. It's called leapfrogging. Yes, and they're doing it excellent.
nice. Yeah. So
Leapfrogging.
as you're looking at Reacher, what does Neely do? Neely does. She showed her who she is. She freaking has her handgun. Now, Wes, it's more than me. Is it
Uh-huh.
possible from that distance? Like, can you do a headshot? But she's got both her hands put down on the slab. Doesn't keep.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, you
Yeah,
can.
do you have to raise your gun a little bit higher though, just to because of the range?
They're
That the
not. These
bullet might
guys are
lose
not.
momentum.
Yeah, these guys are not that far away. What they're implying with the firing of the pistols at these distance when these guys are under cover or under concealment, not cover, is the fact that there's too many chances of bullets like going in a bunch of different directions from a pistol, whereas these guys have
Oh,
accurized assault rifles with scopes and stuff on them, so their bullets are going where they want them to go. Whereas
yeah,
you fire off a pistol, it's like gang members clacking off rounds from a Glock from a car somewhere. They don't want some kid that's putting flowers on his freaking goldfish's grave somewhere down the end of the thing to get hit. That's what they're implying with that.
yeah.
But yeah, Beretta and especially Beretta and especially Neely being I would definitely believe her being the best shot and the Beretta
Hmm.
being the best weapon to use with that.
All right. So, yeah, one of the guys gets away. Reacher is chasing him down, and the guy gets into a car, so Reacher can't catch up to him. What happens? Hey, look, there's Russo. Russo pops up, and he has first thing he says is, "Yeah, you trust me now? Are you just being desperate?" Reacher tells me, he's like, "Well, I saw you protect Angel and Mikey, so all right." He kind of, I guess you're playing it square. It's like, boy, poor Russo's got to do go through a lot of shit to friggin' earn Reacher's trust. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
But
like driving. He's like, he drives like my fucking grandmother. It's like giving him shit about his driving.
yeah, we have a pretty good he's like shit, Russo. It's the pedal on the right.
It's
But
pavement. Fuck the pavement. Drive over it.
yeah, so we have a pretty good scene. But I think my favorite spot was right here because Reacher's reloading and stuff and telling Russo, he's like, "Hey, you want to drive? You know what? Yeah." Fucking Reacher with his manly big ass fucking leg puts
Just
fucking
fucking
puts his
stamps on it.
stomps on it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm like, okay, sure. And he hopped the curb, and of course they catch the bad guy.
Like, you're a fucking menace. It's like, you drive like you're blind.
No, that was actually that was a pretty good Reacher
That was
accent.
a really good Reacher impression.
Was it?
Luke,
Oh
good
man,
job.
that's cool.
From now
I
on,
wasn't
these
even
screams,
trying either.
so these fucking screams, so Wes can understand you. Just talk like that from now on. Oh, yeah, but we get into more of what we've been doing, the past 5 episodes because Reacher tells Russo right there, he goes, "Look, these guys attacked us at a crowded funeral. They're pretty desperate." So he's like, "Yeah, we take him in. He lowers up and doesn't talk to us. Too late, and a terrorist has 650 chances to take down a commercial airliner. So
Yep.
what do you want me to do? Look the other way."
And he
And
does, but you can
Yeah,
see he does it really begrudgingly. Like, he's
yeah,
like, "Man, this is not the kinda shit that I do. This is not my thing."
yeah. So right
yeah,
there,
because
and
he's
like you would
kind of
say,
compromising his morals, looking the other way as well, isn't he? And
Yeah.
actually,
it's like Wes would say, I see this, and this is a good writing standpoint because at one end, like what cop would do all this shit for the pension and stuff and their morals, but then again, Reacher's making a point that now Russo knows the fact that these guys hijacked 650 fucking missiles, and if we take him in, come on, it's this information we're not gonna get out of him. Just gonna lawyer up and shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, now Wes, I mean, I just would assume in real life a cop would probably just say, "What do you think a cop would do? Play it by the book?" Or I don't think in this
Uh,
situation.
I don't know, man. I don't my experiences with civilian law enforcement have been very hit or miss.
Right there, look at
So,
Russo's face, looking at him like, and the guy's looking at Russo like, "What are you gonna do?" He's just like, "Eh, fuck it, I'm gonna turn around."
I don't
Yep,
know, I mean, civilian cops do not act the way that military cops do. Military cops, at the end of the day, are still soldiers, and a soldier's main thing is to get the objective done. So a military cop may compromise that stuff. But whereas a civilian cop, now that goes out the window if the civilian cop is crooked or if the civilian cop is racist. So I mean, you have a lot of variables there. Obviously, this particular cop, his morals are very important to him. Basically, I guess we assume due to his father was a cop and his father refused to, be okay with the mob or whatever, and he got whacked out because of it. So it's very important for him to play by the rules.
yeah.
So
And you see right there, Reacher tells him like, "You know what? I'm not gonna waste my time with enhanced interrogation techniques. I'm just gonna choke the life out of you. And if you want,
right,
just blink." But you can tell too, it's like Reacher. Yeah, he could if he wanted to. Yeah, but he talks about a payout and stuff and an abandoned shitty neighborhood in a building. He goes, who did Langston, he hired you, right?" And he goes, "I don't know anybody named Langston." He's like, "Yeah, who hired you? Then who the hell hired you?" "Well, some guy named Swan."
dum dum dum.
And of course,
dun
right
dun
there, and
dun.
of course, Russo looks over. Russo's just staring at Reacher like almost like that. I told you so kind of look. But again,
But
in Allen, more of like that great acting, man.
but Swan, a guy named Swan hired him. But is it Swan that hired him? Or
Oh
is it
yeah,
the lieutenant colonel pretending to be Swan using Swan's name?
look right there. Reacher's like, "Oh shit, damn." Yeah, and
Yeah,
basically, so we get to our final scene here, and it's Reacher and O'Donnell talking to this douchebag. He tells him to put his phone in his pocket to want to see what's going on. Oh,
Reacher and
sorry,
Neely.
Neely. Sorry, yeah, those are down there. Yeah, Reacher and Neely. So of
Yeah, they
course,
look the same. They look the same. I
I
got
was
you.
I was friggin' sharing tabs here. But yeah, he wants them to. It's like keep your phone in your pocket so we can listen in. And yeah, this guy he walks to the building and goddamn, big ass fucking explosion.
Neely's really tall. You see that she's like almost as tall as Reacher?
um,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I think I noticed when she came in that really fucking hot dress.
right there. Good quick line between fucking Neil and Reacher because she's like, "Hey boss, what'd you say about when we find the people?" He's like, "If Swan's really in that building, I'm gonna do the same thing I did to that guy." He's like, wrap my hand around his neck and squeeze
Yeah,
the
but
truth out of him. Oh shit! So
Swan's not in that building. Swan's dead, and they're using pieces of him for biometrics to frame all this shit on him.
shit right there. But man, what hell of that's a great friggin' building explosion. Shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
3
So
episodes left of Reacher
yeah,
season 2.
and yep, that's it. So
Yeah, 3
yeah,
more weeks, guys. 3 more
overall,
weeks.
no, I thought it was a good episode. I liked it. Good amount of
Yeah,
action. We get more
great
stuff
writing.
into
Great writing.
nice more deadpan Reacher comedy. And yeah,
Yep,
we got friggin' the whole chase sequence, but that the choreography with the gun sequence in the cemetery was really well done.
yep.
And yeah, I mean,
Yep.
thought it was a good episode, so liked it.
What'd you think, Luke?
It was very funny, and there's some great twists and turns like that.
Yeah.
Same as I said with the last episode. Once again, Rich Son fucking kills it.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
No pun
No,
intended.
and like, people see this, we're not doing a obvious play by play, but sometimes I do have fun. You can take one scene and just move it along, but we can take 5 minutes and dissect one scene and keep
Yeah.
moving. And like, just small things like you're saying, Wes, is that man, Alan, now I did like the two Tom Cruise films for what they were, but now like,
Hmm.
after seeing season one and season two, and this guy is gonna be no matter where his career goes after this, I'm never gonna see Alan Richardson without thinking Reacher. It just
Yeah.
he
I'm
just
still looking
fucking
forward to that film he's done with Henry Cavill, the Ministry of
oh, yeah.
Ungentleman's Warfare.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
Richie.
he's got so much. I mean, said the guy's gonna get pretty big, and even the critical drinker would say that this guy, he should be. I mean, this guy, him and Henry Cavill have the potential to be like the next big action star, especially him, but
No,
we'll see
we
what
need.
happens.
I know we desperately need new fucking action stars, and Richardson
Yeah,
and Cavill are there. Fucking make it happen. Make it
yeah,
happen, Hollywood.
definitely. Yeah, so Wesley, so in terms of this is episode 5, any, like, there's certain deviations from the book, but anything too good or bad, you think?
Um, I mean, a lot of deviations from the book.
Hmm,
We've got a lot of stuff happening. Like I said, I love the book for what it is. By the way, Luke, that's in your package. I sent you the book. Um,
Oh yeah,
and
cheers, mate.
uh, and a lot of different uh characters that are either made up or completely altered. I would venture to say that almost all of the scenes in this episode are made. There's not really a scene where O'Donnell goes back to his family to, get them squirreled away. Not that I recall. And there's not a whole seeing the senator to find out that as long as they get the case done, they get a get out of jail free card. There was definitely not a Russo character. There's not a whole bunch of, this back and forth machinations that they're doing with, trying to get this guy to go in and collect his payoff. And so, yeah, man, it's they're really going off script, and I'm here for it all day. I've never understood that. Like, if the show or the movie improves upon the source material, why cry about it? Because I can guarantee you there's probably some Reacher purists that are, and that, but actually, that wasn't in the book like that. It's not what happened. Kind of like what you and Enzo and everybody was doing with The Last of Us. 'Cause you kept crying because it's not a video game you're playing.
mhm,
Me, if you improve upon the source material, I'm here for it all day, man. I'm
okay.
here for it
No,
all day
I'm
long.
I'm the same way. I mean, that's a whole other stream, but, like, the changes they made to Last of Us show I didn't like, but, I mean, some changes I thought were actually better, but a lot of changes overall I didn't like because of yeah, that's a discussion, but
I
no, like
like it. I also like this with Reacher because now I don't know what's going on. With
okay,
Reacher season 1, they were extremely faithful to the book, almost to a T, so I knew how it was gonna end, I knew who was gonna live and who was gonna die. Now I kinda feel like I'm watching it the same way that you guys are watching it. Like, I know the general premise of it is still the same, but, like, all the events, how they're gonna unfold are very interesting to me because now
yeah,
I kinda don't know, and now I get to kinda play
hmm,
detective. And,
okay,
by the way, I know I'm right. I'm at least 90% right
yeah,
on these things that I'm guessing. If I'm not, feel free to ridicule me as much as you guys would like. I know
yeah,
you will anyway.
No, no,
But
no, you were wrong.
w toxic was wrong, toxic was wrong. But and
yeah,
I think that it's very fascinating, and it's making me. I think that's a smart thing to do to keep the bare bones of the story, right? Like they did with The Walking Dead, and then move the source material around so that people aren't just watching a carbon copy of the stuff. Because that would be kind of boring, wouldn't it? If you're watching an adaptation of something that you read and it just does the same exact things, then what is the point of even watching it? Just to see what the characters would look like in real life outside of your
yeah,
imagination. I mean, it just it
alright,
doesn't it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm really enjoying it, like,
Cool.
a lot more than I even thought I would, and I told you guys last month that I was looking forward to this, but I'm really
Yeah.
happy.
Cool. All right, man. All good to go. I will get this out ASAP. I mean, it's last episode 4 took longer than I expected, but then again, it was Christmas and so much shit going on. New Year's is coming up. I'm going to be working, and people want to drink and stuff. And but this will be out as soon as possible. So,
Alright,
you guys,
fantastic.
I will see
Thanks
you
for
for
having me.
next week in episode 6. Like Wes said, we have 3 more to go.
3 more to go.